Hi there, today I'm in Lathkill Dale, just outside Bakewell in the Derbyshire Dales. Lathkill Dale is a beautiful place, and the river Lathkill there behind me flows through the bottom of the valley. Now the reason that I've come here is because I want to look for some weirs that apparently are on the river a little bit further up. There are 12 of them that were put in place to encourage trout to breed for trout fishing. It's also mid-autumn, so I'm going to keep an eye out for some autumn colours, and I know that I'm really going to enjoy my photography. So it seems like I might have underestimated what Lathkill Dale has to offer. I did come here for the weirs and the autumn colours, but I've only been here about 5 minutes and I've seen 2 dippers and a grey heron flew over as well. Now I was trying to film the dipper with my 24 to 200mm lens, which really wasn't long enough, and then another dipper came in and they had a bit of a tussle and they both flew off. If I'd got my long lens, then I probably would have got a really great photograph of that. But it's still early in the morning, the sun might come into the valley a little bit more, and I might even see those birds again. So I'll keep an eye out for those later as I wander up the river. I've underexposed myself to try and show you this mist that's hanging about on the top of the river. It's really lovely. Hopefully the photograph that I've taken will pick it up, because I've framed the trees there in the background and the mist is backlit by the low sun, and it should make a really lovely photograph. So Lathkill Dale has a rich variety of trees, animals and insects, and it's got several areas of special scientific interest as well, and buzzards, kestrels and goshawks can sometimes be seen flying above. So behind me are some of the 12 weirs that were built in the 19th century to encourage trout to breed in this part of the river. Now today there's a swan here on the river, and there's even a gentleman having a swim. Now it must be absolutely freezing cold because it's not a warm morning, and on the grass down in front of me here there are still some signs of frost, so that water has got to be very cold. I am definitely going to have to visit Lathkill Dale again with my wildlife hat on, so that'll mean bringing my long lens, because there's so much bird life here. The way that the pools are set up with these weirs really just encourages the bird life. I've seen a grey wagtail, what I think is a grebe, but you know how bad my bird identification is. I'm not sure what it was. It was a small thing. Another gentleman just said it was a grebe, so I'm relying on his identification. But I've seen the 2 dippers again flying about over these pools, and I'm just really struggling because 200mm is not close enough to get the birds big enough in the frame, but I'm going to keep trying to do the best I can. So you'll probably notice from this shot that the sun isn't getting into this part of the valley because it's over behind the steep sides over there, so it's just not penetrating right down into the floor of the valley. So it's probably not going to be great for photographs anyway in this part. I might just carry on along the path for a little bit further, but then I think I'll turn around and go in the other direction. So it's very difficult to imagine that Lathkill Dale was very different a few centuries ago. There were several lead mines and quite a lot of shafts, so all the miners culminated in lots of noise and grime and smoke, and nature has done a really good job of healing over all of those scars, so it's virtually undetectable now. It's so frustrating that I don't have my long lens with me today. The dipper at the moment is sat on a twig there on the river and posing really nicely, and with my long lens I would have been able to get some great shots of it. I can see it now as I look across the river. It's so close to what I could have had with my long lens. It would have been a really nice photograph. I have taken some shots with this, but it just depends on how well they crop in and how much I can blow them up. I'm not optimistic, but they may work. Behind me here is the Conksbury Bridge, and it dates back to medieval times. So it appears almost like it's just a solid wall of stone until you notice these few small arches at the bottom of the bridge. This old bridge carried the New Haven to Grindleford Turnpike and was also used as a sheep wash bridge until after World War II. The settlement of Conksbury stood on the site of this location, but it was abandoned centuries ago. When I looked at this location on Google Maps, it did look like there was a path that followed the side of the river, and I was intending walking along that, but unfortunately it's private access, it's fenced off and there's padlocks on the gates, so I've only been able to get anywhere close to that place with the drone. So I've got a little bit of footage of that. So this is the weir that I wanted to come and have a look at, and I'm stood on Coal Pit Bridge. Now this bridge is a wonderful arched packhorse bridge, and it was used to carry coal from the mines at Chesterfield, so it would have been laden with packhorses at one point in time. This really is another wonderful location. Just out there on the water there are a pair of coots, and I've just seen a tortoiseshell butterfly. Even at the beginning of November there are still butterflies about. It's turned out fairly warm now. Now the sun's got a bit higher, so that might have what's brought the butterflies out. But again, I'm just frustrated that I don't have my long lens. I could have done so much more because I think today would have been a much better wildlife day than a landscape day. So that's probably going to be about it today. I'll show you my best photographs in a second, but I've been a little bit frustrated by how much bird life I've seen. Just where I'm stood now, there's been 2 buzzards flying around above me. I've seen coots on the weir here behind me. I've seen a grey wagtail, a mute swan. I've seen grebe. I've seen the dippers. I've seen lots of mallards. And it's just frustrating that I didn't have my long lens with me, but that's the way it goes. I've still had a good day, so here are my best photos. So this morning's been a little bit of a mixed bag. I found some interesting locations, and I think possibly the star of the show is going to be those very first shots I got of the mist over the river. I'm really looking forward to getting those back in the computer to see how they've turned out. But I've got some nice shots with the drone as well. I think they might be quite good as photographs in their own right. But then I'm quite eager as well to see how those photographs of the birds turned out. Now you will have already seen them, and I may have even commented on them as well once I get back home. If you've enjoyed this video, you can let me know down below in the comments, or nip over to my Vero account. That's at Darrell Oakden Photography. Leave me your comments there, and you can also see lots of my photos. Now, if you like what I do on the channel and want to help support me, you can also visit my Teespring store. There I've got a range of merchandise on offer, and a purchase really helps me to continue to make content like this. And don't forget the super thanks button as well. But you don't have to spend any money at all to support the channel. You can do that simply by clicking like, subscribe, and the bell notifications, because that really helps me out and it makes sure that you don't miss out on any future content. Watch out for next week's video. That goes live on Sunday. In the meantime, you can check out this video just up here. But all that's left now is to say, stay safe, and I'll see you soon.